With Daniel Farke's Leeds United 3 points ahead of any other team in the Championship table, 8 points ahead of third place Burnley, they're looking really, really good and set for promotion. I want to discuss, are they going to win the league? And I also want to discuss the other teams in the promotion pack. The Championship promotion race is really hotting up. There's 11 games to go, 33 more points to be played for, and it's so tight at the top of the table. We've got Leeds on 76 points, Sheffield United on 73 points. Remember, they had 2 points docked at the start of the season. Burnley on 68 points with a game in hand, and Sunderland on 65 points. And then the playoffs can be decided, I think, from anywhere from 5th place all the way down probably to 14th place where QPR. I feel like that's the boundary on the playoff push. Obviously, you know, the likes of Millwall, Sheffield Wednesday and QPR are the teams who are going to have to struggle a lot more. But from 11th to 5th, Norwich up to Coventry, there's only 8 points in it. The table is just so tight as well at the bottom of the league. Derby are bottom of the league. They've only just gone into the relegation zone in the last month. Plymouth are slowly fighting their way up with the new manager. Luton potentially going to be getting successive relegations. And you look above the drop zone, Hull with their new manager, Ruben Sellas, look really good, but they're only 2 points ahead of the drop zone. Cardiff, they're looking okay, but with Omar Rizzo, he's not exactly an experienced manager. And Stoke City, although they're relatively poor, Mark Robbins should be a manager to keep them up. This video, I'm specifically talking about that top 4, or maybe the top 2 promotion race, because I believe that there's going to be a whole other video that needs to be made on the playoff race, a whole other video on the relegation fight that I will do in due course. But Leeds United at the top of the table, some betting markets have already said that they're cashing out on Leeds winning the league because they already believe they're that good, they're too good not to drop that 3-point lead that they have on Sheffield United. And I believe that Leeds really do have the best squad in the division. And I believe that Leeds really do have the best squad in the division, because from the goalkeeper Meslier to the defence with the likes of Bogle, Rodon, Strike, all the way up to the top of the pitch, which it can be Perot playing up front or Matteo Joseph. They've got bags of quality everywhere. And no matter who it is that gets injured in that Leeds squad, it feels like there's just such an amazing player to come in and replace them. I remember early on in the season, they had Ampadu and Gruev at the CDM positions. They both got injured, so they had Tanaka, and they also had Joe Rothwell to just come in and deputise. And they're 2 players who probably walk into any other team in this division already. But then you move on to Sheffield United, and I feel like a lot of people have been sleeping on them throughout the whole season. There's been a few wins that Chris Wilder's team have got where maybe it wasn't the most convincing, but they got over the line. But they've had -2 points deduction. In the summer, there was a whole squad clear out, over 10 players left. Over 10 players came in. They changed from an identity of, 5 at the back to going to a 4-2-3-1, a bit more of a fluid style of football. Ollie Arblaster got injured for the season. Harry Souttar got injured for the season. There's been so much happening at Sheffield United, in the fact that Chris Wilder has steadied the ship and also propelled them to be in second, in pole position. It's so good. But as I did mention, there's a lot of results where they've been getting where they've just skimmed over the line. That's a sign of a team that's going to get promotion, maybe, or is it a sign of the team who's potentially going to have their luck run out and potentially derail their results? And then Burnley, under Vincent Kompany last season, playing total football in the Premier League, it didn't quite work. They've had quite a bit of squad turnover, although the likes of, Josh Cullen, Brownhill have all stayed as mainstays in that squad. They're in 3rd. They're 5 points off Sheffield United at the time of recording with a game in hand, which makes them 8 points off of Leeds. And they've been playing the most boring football this season. They've kept an insane amount of clean sheets. They've only lost 2, which is the lowest amount in the league. But with 14 draws, there's been too many matches where Burnley haven't turned those draws into wins. But they are unbeaten in their last 5. I believe that they are probably the most solid squad in the division right now, and I don't think that they're going to be getting any worse this season. And Sunderland fans, I just want to put it out there, I still believe you're in this top 2 race, but you've definitely derailed a little bit in recent times. You've had 2 losses, 1 draw, 2 wins in your last 5. That's not quite promotion form. But I do believe no matter where Sunderland finish this season, whether it's in the top 2 or the playoffs, it's not going to be any lower. Rashid Labrie has done an amazing job with them. When he came in, he came off the back of a couple of poor seasons in France where he didn't really, bark up any trees. And all of a sudden he's come into a championship squad full of youngsters like Chris Rigg, Joe Bellingham, Wilson Isidore, and he's made them a great squad. You look at the back, they've got a passionate goalkeeper in Patterson. He's not exactly the most conventional goalkeeper, he wears his short sleeves, he's a bit of a brick shit house, but he's a good championship player. Luke O'Neill at the centre-back, I think, is the captain. He isn't exactly the most technically gifted footballer, but he's a player who's got the passion. Again, is good enough technically. I'm not saying he's bad, I'm just saying he's not exactly a conventional possession style footballer, but he's a tireless worker. He'll get the dirty work done. Then in midfield, they've got an array of players, but it's mainly been Joe Bellingham and Chris Rigg playing in the 2-8s, and they've been very, very good this season. This is Chris Rigg's first proper breakout season. Joe Bellingham was playing at striker at times last season, but as an 8, he's found his best position, I believe. And then up front, Wilson Isidore, what a player he has been. Let's just say, he's 20, they bought him from Russia. Sunderland have had a problem for about 2 or 3 years now with trying to find a number 9 who fits into the system, because basically every other position on the pitch is effective, but they've finally got Isidore. He's best off playing slightly right striker, and he's scored a flurry of goals this season. So it's basically Leeds and one other team for top 2, I believe, because as I say, Leeds are so good, quality in every position. Daniel Farke, I know it's a bit of a cliche thing to say, but he's been there and done it twice with Norwich City. Both times I don't feel like the squad was quite as good that he had with Norwich at the time. So he's got a better squad, more experience, and his team's playing well. Alongside the fact that last season Leeds couldn't quite get over the line. So they've got that chip on the shoulder to make sure that they don't only get over the line this season, but they win the title. And for second, I do believe it's between Sheffield United and Burnley. If Burnley win their game in hand, they're only 2 points away from Sheffield United, which makes it a very, very tough run-in for both teams, because Burnley, they've had the least amount of goal involvements in their matches this season. They've only conceded 9 in 34 matches. That stat is just crazy. I think it must be the best defensive record of any championship team in the history. But Sheffield United just have this knack of getting wins. They've got quality throughout the squad. Gus Hamer's a good championship player. Tom Cannon bought for 10 million, good player. Vinny Souza has had a redemption season this year, alongside the fact that Ahmed Hodzic and Robinson have a great partnership at centre-back. The likes of Burrows came in, Rex Saki, Callum O'Hare. There is quality throughout that squad. And they also bolstered that squad in the January transfer window because they had quite a lot of depth issues. Clark came in at right back from Ipswich on loan. He's been decent. Hamza Shudori has come in, or Shadori has come in at CDM or right back. Wild had him at Watford. He knows what he does. He's a simple yet effective ball-winning midfielder. And then Brereton Diaz came in, obviously played in the Championship in Premier League last season. He got about 7 goals in the second half of the season, which is great for any player, never mind one that's at the bottom of the table. And then Tom Cannon came in for 10 million. Sheffield United fans are still waiting to see his best football. Bit of a poacher type, Billy Sharp maybe resembles him a little bit. Obviously not the same player, but there's quality. And it feels like Burnley haven't really needed to upgrade their squad much, because there's still players in their reserves like Manuel Benson, who isn't playing much football, but in this Parker squad, he's got players who can just deputise all the time. Now it's crazy how Parker was just playing this total football brand at Fulham and at Bournemouth. He's coming at Burnley and he's just gone, right, the Burnley way is to sit back, hold your position, defend for your lives, hit on the counter-attack. It's not quite that, because it's not a dice style of defensive football. It's controlled defensiveness, I guess. They hold the ball very calculated. The players will do whatever's the safest option, it feels, a lot of the time, until, the likes of Jadon Anthony gets the ball, or Hannibal, where they can be a bit more creative. And the Burnley style of football is one that I don't feel like I've even seen before in the Championship, because the players like Josh Cullen and Josh Brownhill are so creative. They're very good at getting into the final third, but it just feels like they're not scoring many goals. They've only scored 43 goals this season, Burnley out. That is not even close to being the highest amount in the league. That's sitting in the middle of the table for goals scored. Josh Brownhill was centre mid, number 8 is their top goal scorer. But there's just a part of me that feels like Burnley is just a really, really good team, and the goals are going to come, and the defensive record isn't going anywhere. And I do believe that Burnley are going to finish second. And I'm a Sheffield United fan, I'm just putting it out there, and I do just think that Sheffield United are going to tail off and Burnley are just going to carry on this amazing run and get to second spot, with Leeds going up as promoted teams. And then for Sheffield United and Sunderland in the playoffs, I'm not even going to guess what's going to happen in that, because it could go anyway. It just all depends on the form, how the teams are on the day. We've seen historically, normally it's one of the 3rd or 4th places that get promotion. Last season it was Southampton, the season before it was Luton after an amazing run. But the promotion race, either way, this season is going to be amazing. We've got about 2 months left of Championship football. This season's going incredibly quick. Please enjoy it whilst you can. Whether you're a neutral, a team of the top teams, a team of the bottom teams, a League 2 supporter, or a Manchester United glory hunter, sorry if you are. Enjoy the rest of the football season, because it's a great season. I'm really enjoying the competitive nature in the Championship, better than the Premier League. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think the top 4 is going to be? Leeds United, I'm going to guess is going to be top for most of you guys, but let me know where you think it's going to be from there. Bonus point if you could tell me 2 playoff teams as well. But until next time, thank you very much for watching.